I mean, I could do it like this with the mystical outline around me from the humidity touching my camera, but no, it's clearing up. Shouldn't be too bad. Hi, hello, welcome back to Shelabobby Handmade. My name is Caitlyn, also known as Shelabobby, just about everywhere on the internet, and this is my podcast where we talk about knitting and crochet and yarn and all of that fun stuff. Today, I have a couple of things to cover for admin. First off, number one, we are curly hair humidity girl today, and I am taking you guys' advice. Several of you guys in the comments said to leave the air conditioner on. So if you hear my window AC unit, it is much needed, or else this podcast would not happen today. In fact, my camera kept fogging up just opening up the door to get things set up. The camera kept fogging up and my glasses kept fogging up. So it's a time. So I apologize if the air conditioner noise is too much for you guys. I understand, but I cannot do it without it today. It is working as hard as it can, and it is still quite warm. So we are going to be fuzzy-headed, hair up today. Second is that, and you'll see in my knitting progress that I have done over the past 2 weeks, that I have not done a lot. And most of that is because since July 4th, I had the 4th and the 5th off plus the weekend. But since July 4th, we have been working on the chicken run because they needed to go outside. They're officially outside in the run, happy. But one, that affected my knitting time over the past 2 weeks because we were working after my work day. So I work a regular, it's actually 8 to 5 job. And so I work an 8 to 5 and then eat. Is if you, when I'm doing the close-ups, if you guys are icked out by cuts and nicks and hangnails and not perfectly manicured fingers, maybe not the video for you, because I've been working with chicken wire and hardware cloth and chickens themselves, and so my hands are beat up and cut up and nicked up. So I apologize in advance if that is gross to you guys. I'll try my best not to include it in the footage, but if you do happen to see that, I'm so sorry. I've just been, as my mom says, a chicken farmer the past couple of days, and will be in the future, so you may see that from time to time. I think that is all the admin things. Today I have a couple of finished objects for you. I have some whips, of course, an acquisition, only one. I was very good. And I do have a frog. Not an actual frog, because frogs are scary. I have a frogged project that I want to talk to you guys about, and maybe ask your guys' advice as well. So that's what's in store for today. Let's get started with Josiah's dice bag. Josiah is my nephew. He just started a D&D campaign with his friends, and I told him I would make him a dice bag. So I did this on, let's see, June 30th through July 1st. So it only took me a day to whip out some dice bags. These are not the first ones that I have made. This is the Dragon Skin This is the Dragon Skin Dice and Treasure Bag by Michaela Jandasek, I believe is how you say that. If not, I apologize, but I tried to look up the name and there wasn't too many English pronunciations. So I believe it's Michaela Jandasek, but her name will be right here and it will be linked on the project page as well. I, of course, knit this for my nephew for his dice for D&D, and it was knit in camp fiber yarns, soft sock base in Just a Black. I bought that just a couple of weeks ago. One, to make him socks because he wants me to make him socks nowadays. And he is in his black era. So we got him some black yarn to make him some socks. So I ripped into one of the skeins and made the dice bag for him. So that's my first finished object. The next finished object that I have for you is, of course, a sock. So I believe you saw these in the last episode. These are what I'm calling my highlighter socks. These are socks for my nephew Levi. These are 68 stitches, US 1, and I made them quite long. These are my official summer sock camp pair number 8. They are my vanilla recipe, so just a vanilla sock with slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. I don't know what kind of toe this is. It's the one where you decrease every other row for a certain amount of rows, and then you decrease every row for a certain amount of rows, and then Kitchener stitch. I don't know which one that is. You only increase and decrease on one, like on tags anymore, but it's super glow fibers in their super sock base. The main color is Lava Glow, and the contrast color is called The Devil. And you will see these colors come back up soon. I cast these on July 24th and June 24th. We're not even to July 24th. June 24th, and finished them July 6th. So these will go right to him. Now that I have shown you guys, I can pass them on to him to wear. My last, I don't know why I took that off the sock blocker, but there we go. My last finished object is my Serene Socks, which you guys did see. I know you saw them in the last episode. So my Serene Socks are completed. This is the pattern Serene Socks by 3 by the Sea Designs. I knit this in my Petroglyph National Monument Yarn of Enchantment yarn from Long Dog Yarn. And this was, let me actually check, March. This was March yarn. This is on their Merino Sock 4-ply, so it's an 85 15, and they just recently changed their base to a biodegradable nylon. So this is the original base that does not have the biodegradable nylon in. But these I cast on June 29th and finished July 14th, which is today for me. So I literally finished the toe of the sock just before writing the notes for the podcast and coming out here to record. So these are fresh off the needles. This is for my sister. All of the Yarn of Enchantment yarns so far I have made for my sister. So that is just going to be my theme. She's going to get a pair out of each one of those. But she is 64 stitches. So that is that. I did mention that I think this is going to replace my Rhinebeck Roomies, and I think it is a good contender to be a alternative. The pattern is much more simpler to remember. However, it is a little less intuitive to knit without looking. As far as I'd have to look each round to make sure that I was doing the right thing, whereas the other one I can kind of go, 2-3 rounds before having to look. So it is a lovely pattern, and I definitely recommend it. I don't think it's on Ravelry. I got mine off of Etsy. So you may have to look there to find their pattern. This was my Summer Sock Camp pair number 9. It will be photographed and posted hopefully later this afternoon. That is all of my finished objects. So now we will get right into works in progress. The first work in progress that I did work on minorly is the Ocean Waves blanket, which I did not bring out here today because I had only done, I think I did 5 rows, which is significant. That's not insignificant. I did do 5 rows, but I have not worked on it this weekend, and it is getting quite large to lug out here in the heat, so I might show it every other episode just to have some progress and some decent progress to show you. So my ocean waves blanket, if you would like to see what that is, I will still be linked below, so you can see a progress picture on there. I haven't taken one in a while, but I will do one soon and post it on there, and then all of the colors and everything I'm using. It is a basic ripple blanket that I'm using 5 colors for to knit, not knit, to crochet for my friend. He's purchasing it as either a Christmas gift for himself or for a friend. I'm not sure, but I have until, you know, November, early December to finish it up. It is a queen size blanket, so it's quite large. But I think I measured it and I'm at 4.5 feet. So moving quite along in that. So I don't have any fears about that, and I'm going to work on it this afternoon if I have some more time. But yeah, just didn't bring it out today. And that pattern is by Lauren Brown. Give me a second to flip back through my papers. Lauren Brown. I got it right. It's a free pattern. I believe she has a paid for PDF that you can use as well, but the blog tells you how to make your swatch, and then I use that to calculate the amount of yarn that I needed, and then went from there. I believe I'm also using a worsted weight where she's using a DK weight, but you know how crochet goes, even knitting goes, you can kind of figure that stuff out. So that's my first work in progress. The next work in progress, and both of these work in progress are teeny tiny. So they're just basically starts. Oh no, I'm knocking everything over. So this is in my Oh Wow Amsterdam bag, and this is usually where I keep my DK weight socks, so you guys know that this is a DK weight sock. So this, with my ginormous bunny donut progress keeper, is my vanilla DK socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. The yarn is Cloak by Crow and Crescent. It's their Triton DK, which I think is still their base. I actually bought this, I think, 2 years ago. So it is kind of older stash. So I'm not sure if this color or even this base is possible. But it is made out of 100% superwash yarn. These are for my sister. So they're the medium size of that pattern. I typically, when I make the DK weight socks, am making them for my grandma, so I don't know the stitch count to reference to for this, because it's the first time I'm making the medium size. But I am making these for my sister. This will be my 10th summer sock camp pair. It's looking like my 30 that I am wanting to make is not looking real good unless I get a lot of knitting time in the future, but that is okay. If I beat my last year goal of 15, I will be absolutely happy, and I see that that is quite possible. So no worries, no stress, but this is my 10th pair, and this is the first sock, so this is all I have to show you. It looks quite black as I'm looking at it right now. I'm sure that when I do the close-up, you'll be able to see it a little bit better, but it is a dark purple. Yeah, so that is all of that. Make sure I have my tag in there so that I can show you, yep, 100% superwash merino wool. And when you see this, you'll see that the tag says me, because I wound up a whole bunch of yarn for summer sock camp. So when I wind up yarn, I usually try to do 5 or 6, you know, skeins at a time, so that it's, you know, keeping track of everything, keeping lots of yarn going. Is that going to be too invasive? No. Cool. I try to keep up with the amount of yarn that I need to make sure that I have that going, because yarn winding is quite a chore for me. So we prepare. My last work in progress that I have to show, again, teeny tiny start, living in my purple ghosty bag from Fat Squirrel Fibers, and again, I just have the cuff. You have seen this yarn just a few moments ago. This is the Lava Glow color from Super Glow Fibers. When I finished the sock, I sent it to my knitting friends group chat, and Lisa said, oh my gosh, I love that corally red color. And so I brought it to her because I was leaving for knit group, and I brought it to her and said, here, I want you to have the leftovers. And she was very excited, but then found this yarn, which is socks that she had just finished or was finishing the toe of, and she was like, I think these two colors go really, really well together. And she said, will you make a pair of socks with that? And I said, well, I'll make you a pair of socks with that. And she's like, no, you don't have to make me a pair of socks. And I was like, I want to give you this yarn. You gave me this yarn. I'm going to put them together and make you a pair of socks. So I am knitting, which you can't tell from this, but I am knitting the heel toe Dosey Do. So these are called my Lisa Dosey Do socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. And so that is a pattern that was made specifically for to work well with self-striping yarn, which this is. I think this is a trekking yarn. Lisa did not tell me, but I think this is a trekking XXL yarn. Just by the feel of it, that's what I'm going with, or like a Regia or something like that. But I think trekking is the one that this one is. So this one will have some stripes, and I think that will look very, very cute as a heel toe Dosey Do. I've never made that pattern before, so I'm excited to get started on the actual patterning. So this will be my summer sock camp pair number 11. And I asked Lisa what her preference is for stitch counts on her socks. So I'm going to be doing 60 for the leg, and then it'll kind of be a shorty pair just because of the yarn that I have. But I'll be doing 60 for the leg and then 58 stitch count for the foot to make that work beautifully for her. So that is all the works in progress I had. Like I said, I have been working outside in the only thing I can explain it as is Satan's bath water to try and get the chickens out of the shed and into the run so that they can be very happy. And it makes my heart so happy. We let them in there yesterday and they are just loving it. They're loving digging around in the dirt, eating bugs, having a grand time running back and forth. So makes me so happy. And I went out this morning and I always say, oh, BBs, and they all came running to the door of the run and just followed me around inside the chicken coop. It's adorable. I love them. Still unsure if we have chickens or roosters, or only hens and roosters, or only hens, or some roosters and some hens. We don't know. We do not know, but that's kind of lifey stuff that I just discussed. So you will see some pictures. I think I'll insert them at really excited to make them. I love the process of making my projects, not even the finished object that I really care about. So typically I don't frog my projects. The only time I frog them is if I mess up on like a sock, and I'll rip it out and start again. But usually I'm ripping it out to make the same thing, a sock. It's usually a mistake. But this one I've just fallen out of love with. So this is from a bag from Cottontail Farms that I got from one of the fiber festivals here in North Carolina. And so this is one of the original bags that I got. Of course, it has bunnies on it. And inside here lives my Hexy Cardigan. This is a crochet project that I started probably early last year. I was kind of in a slump with my knitting and was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'll just crochet something, maybe something fast and easy. And I worked out, with the help from Karen, worked out how to do a solid hexie. So this is my hexie, and there's some clips on here to mark. Let's see if I can try it on. I marked where I wanted my arm piece to connect. So I was still very early in the process, and I was starting to decrease on the bottom for the sleeve so that it would taper down. And I was going to take this out and try and work out, you know, if I could continue going with it. And I don't love it. I don't think I'm going to wear it a whole lot. So I think I'm going to rip it out. And the other thing is I don't know where I am or what I was doing to increase it, since it's not a pattern. It was something that I was making up from a solid hexie, and then started to decrease. You can see a little bit of the decrease starting there. I think I had done 2 rows, but again, I have to repeat this on the other side, and I don't remember what I did when I started. Could I count? Yes, but at the same time, I don't want this project anymore. So I'm going to frog this, but I still want to make something with this yarn. So the yarn is Paintbox yarn, Simply DK. Is that what this one is too? Yeah. Paintbox yarn, Simply DK, and this is in the colorway 106. I think it's the granite gray color. It's the dark gray. And it's the 100% acrylic yarn, but I still want to make a cardigan with this to wear around the house, but I want it to be cute. So originally I bought this yarn to make the D&D sweater. It's the colorwork sweater with the dice around the yoke, and I bought this colorway, which is 132. I do not know the color of this specifically, but according to my viewfinder, this is looking pretty accurate on screen, if not maybe a little bit bluer. But it's just like a minty blue. Leans more heavily on blue than a green. But I bought this to be the color work inside of the dark gray, and that was the plan for the color work. So I think I have 4 skeins of this, and then I know I have at least 6 of this color. The other thing is I was also smaller in body size around that time, so I'm going to have to add some yarn to it to have enough to make a cardigan. So I'm going to frog this, but my question to you guys is, I want to make this cardigan. I believe it's called the Aria cardigan. It's a crochet granny square with knit cuffs and hems. Beautiful, love it, want to make it. So I want to add 1 or 2 more colors into this spectrum that I have right now to make those grannies, and I want to keep it kind of light and airy in the colors. I don't want to do anything, I don't want to do like, you know, neon pink with it or anything like that. So I have this minty light blue and a dark gray. I was thinking of getting a white, and then I need 1 more color. So if you guys will let me know what color I should add with it. Some of the ideas that I had was like a light lavender purpley color. I'm not really a pink person, so I don't think I would add pink, but I had also had like a light gray, but then I didn't know if the light gray would be too close to the white. I had thought about a cream, and then maybe like a yellow or an orange. I have a lot of ideas, but no solid answers. So let me know, because I will be starting, I'll order that yarn and get it on its way so that I can start the Aria cardigan. Keep all of that together and frog that later. So that will be a whip that will be out of my whip pile. Alright, so that is the frogging information. The last thing I have is the July Yarnable. If you have not had your Yarnable yet, because it is halfway through the month, that could happen, you'll want to skip to the end a couple minutes. I will try to be brief, but if you don't want to see the yarn, you don't want to be spoiled by it, go ahead and skip nearer to the end for the exit or the outro, whatever y'all want to call it. So I loved this box this month, and I cannot wait to show you this so that I can eat it. I'm about showing it like I'm going to be able to do it. This month came with Pop Rocks. I love Pop Rocks, and this is the cotton candy flavor, and so I have waited patiently. I got this on the 2nd of July, and I have waited patiently and have not consumed them, but I will right after this podcast. In fact, probably while I'm recording the close-ups. So Pop Rocks cotton candy came in as the extra. We also have a Progress Keeper, which is little stars. we got a try-on cord pack. And this is great. This is a great value for, you know, if you've gotten the barber cards before. Price-wise, this is great to be included in here. And it has light blue and red. If I'm not mistaken, there's two 30-inch ones and a 60-inch cord in here. Again, not 100% sure. I don't have the card anymore. I don't know where I put that. So those were the extras in this month's Yarnable. And then the yarn itself is Oh My Stars, and I have one of the strings, which is a cream base with blue and red, like patriotic colors. And it's gonna be cute. It's gonna be pretty. So yeah, that is the yarn from Yarnable. So I think that is all that I have to talk to you guys about today. Let me know about your color preferences, and let me know what you think I should do for that Aria cardigan. If you don't know where Paintbox Yarns is on... Where is Paintbox Yarns? Where do you get that? Why can't I think of what that is called? Yarn something. Paintbox Yarns. Paintbox. It is on Lovecrafts. So if you are not familiar with what colors come in Lovecraft yarn, the paint box, because that is the only place that you can get paint box yarns, head over there, look at the colors that they have, and let me know what you would buy to put with white, because that would be one of the colors I'm going to buy, the dark gray, and the light blue. And again, that's more of like the minty blue, not like the baby light blue. Yeah, let me know about that. Lastly, I just want to say hello to everyone. So again, there is a lot more of you guys today than there were the last time I recorded. Almost 100 more of you guys. So hello everyone. I will briefly speak about myself because I realize I haven't done that in a while, and several of you were asking where I'm from and that sort of stuff. So I will briefly give you a little history of me and about what I am about. So if you did not catch it at the beginning, my name is Caitlyn, and I am a podcaster and knitter from North Carolina in the United States. I live on the eastern side, quite near the beach, and yeah, I live in a house with my mom and dad, and because rent and housing and all of that is crazy, I have a full-time job in a tech company. I am a COO, which just basically means that if I'm not doing the job, I am making sure I find the person that will and that they get it done. So I work in software. I have a BB, which is my Charlie Bean. She is an indoors lionhead dwarf rabbit, and she is sassy as ever. And then I now have 6 chickens that are now in the run, and we still only have a couple names for them, which is Babs, which is the almost seagull or eagle looking colored one. Her name is Babs from Chicken Run, the knitting chicken from Chicken Run. And then we have Shanti or Chanticleer, which we think is a rooster, but I'm not sure anymore. But whatever, their name is going to be Shanti. And they are the one that has the dark brown with the golden speckles. Beautiful. And then we have 2 golden, which are Buff Orpingtons. Buff Orpingtons. I think that's how you say it. And one of them name is Bartolomeo, who is the chicken that likes to peck my freckles and bug bites and anything on my skin and break the skin. So my nephews named them Bartolomeo from the One Piece anime, and apparently they are a cannibal, so makes sense. And then the other golden one is called Goldie, which is the female chicken from Rockadoo, which is where we got Chanticleer's name from. And so Goldie is their name. And then we have 2 Rhode Island Reds. One of them I am suspecting is an accidental rooster from Tractor Supply. They're making a lot of rooster activity. So it is possible that they are a rooster, and they are unnamed. And then we have another one that I think is still a hen, and their name is Mrs. Cluck. My sister named that one. So those are my animals. That's a little bit about me. I am 32, if that matters much. I am 32 years old, and I enjoy knitting in all of my free time. So I do knitting. Knitting I have done since 2020, July of 2020, so I'm officially 4 years in of my knitting journey, escapades, fun times. I primarily like to make socks. That is my main focus. I do consider myself a gift process knitter, which means I don't care who it goes to or what it looks like in the end, but I want to make all the things. I crocheted since 2016, taught myself both knitting and crochet online on YouTube, and mostly make blankets on the crochet realm. I've made a couple garments, but they were for like my niece when she was a baby. But I am branching into the crochet garments, as we have seen, but so far have not successfully made a garment for myself for crochet. I do a little bit of embroidery. I'm still new to that. Cross stitch, I have kits and really want to do them, but at the same time, it's kind of like gaming was right at the beginning of me starting to knit. I used to like to play video games, and you had to pick between video games or knitting time because you need your hands for both. And that's kind of where I am with cross stitch. I really like the idea of cross stitch and the look of cross stitch, and I have a couple kits, but just haven't done them. Maybe on some vacation at some point I'll start up a project. Yeah, I am also a person who likes to collect yarn quite a bit. I did my stats in last episode, 2 weeks ago. I did my 6-month stats. I am currently down by 2 skeins from used versus unused, or versus new, I should say. So still working on that, but I have always said and will continue to say that my yarn collection is just that. It is a different hobby. It is a collection of inspiring colors and art that other people have made, and then I can also use that art to make my own objects from knitting, to turn that string, that yarn, into something. So it's a different hobby, but you got to keep both in check. All right, that is all for today. So a very warm welcome to everyone who is new. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and consider leaving a comment and letting me know what color you would add to the gray, the blue, and the white for the Aria cardigan. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye.